The Fishing Paper Show is proudly brought to you by United Fisheries, bringing fresh fish to your plate.
Hello and welcome, I'm Crimpy. Nice to have you along. Don't forget, you can pick up your copy of the Fishing Paper free each month from your local Smith City dealer or pop into Hamill's. They'll have a copy there for you. Coming up in this week's show, we find that tagging trout with Fish and Game is just the pits, and we have some tips on how to keep you out of trouble with the boys in blues this summer. But first, where in the world is the Fishing Paper being read this week? Catriona McCarthy is a successful commercial rhinoceros breeder near Dublin Island. She keeps the wild animals calm by reading the fishing paper to them while feeding them fried potatoes. It's a classic case of no charge for the fish and chips. All right, and my guest this week in the studio with me, I have Simon McMillan from Hamill's. Nice to have you along. And Peter Hyde from the Ministry of Fisheries, or MFish. Nice to have you here.
Thanks,
now, superstitions. We have a show superstition, but before we get to it, did you know that it's actually good luck if you go on a boat to pour wine on the deck of a boat?
No.
It seems a pretty silly superstition to me because I'd rather drink it. However, show superstition. It's bad luck to be here without a gift for the shed. So, Simon, have you brought your gift?
I have, Daryl. And
I can't wait. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Obviously, over the last couple of weeks has been Mark and Lindsay from the shop here, and they both told me that you do a lot of sitting around. So I bought you a long wait.
Perfect. That will come in very, very handy. Peter?
I bought you a book of fishing rules because everybody needs to know the rules for the particular area in New Zealand you're going to be fishing, and I know you get around New Zealand, so this book's got all the rules. And got your power knife. And we'll talk about these a wee bit later because everybody needs a decent device for getting power off the rocks.
That was very big of you, Peter. I was kind of hoping for a bag of power.
No.
No. Yeah, a few crayfish that were left over from conference. No.
Nah, all that stuff.
Maybe if we pop out later after the show, you'll slip some into the boot of the car.
No, definitely not.
OK, it was worth a try. All right, talking about power, that's one of the topics I guess that's dear to you. It's a subject that sort of keeps recurring. It's one of the more problematic areas that you deal with.
Yes, it is. Every summer it would be the species that causes the most problems. Last summer we issued in the South Island 220 infringement notices. That's instant fines ranging from $250 to $500, and 25 people appeared before the courts for more serious power offences.
So is it a case that people just don't know the rules, or are they flagrantly flouting them?
There's one we particularly have a problem with, and that's people taking undersized power. There's getting fewer legal-sized power where they're easily accessible. So people will have a look around, they see undersized power, and they justify taking them because they couldn't find any big power. And there's also a problem with the way people are measuring their power and when they're measuring their power.
All right, talk us through how you should measure a power.
Well, we've got these devices that you can get from any Ministry of Fisheries office. We'll give them to you for free. And
so my gift is not that flash after all. You're giving them out anyway.
That's right. And this has a measuring device on the top of it, OK? So what you can do is when you take your power off the rock, you use your plastic knife, and if it was sucking onto a rock there, you just gently lever it off the rock. Once you've had a pretty good idea it's going to be a legal size power, there's no point taking off something that's going to be undersized, then what we recommend people do is straight away, before you put it in your catch bag, you have a look and you see if it's legal size or not. And the shell I'm holding is one that's not of legal size. Then once you've decided it's legal, then you put it in your catch bag. If it's not legal size, put it back down and suck it onto a rock. Don't just let it go because they'll land upside down and then the spotties and other reef fish will come along and peck away at it. And some people don't realise, but power doesn't have any clotting agent in its blood, and if you nick it with your knife or wrenching them, they'll bleed to death basically. So put them back straight away.
All right, there we go. There's some useful tips from Peter on how to deal with power this summer. Now, recently I had the opportunity to check out what Fish and Game were doing with little fish.
Lawson Davey of Nelson Marlborough Fish and Game has a unique relationship with juvenile brown trout. For the past 6 years, Lawson, in conjunction with scientists from Cawthron Institute, has been conducting a pit tagging program in the Rainy River near Nelson. Electric wands and nets are used to catch small trout, which at this stage were only around 10 centimetres long. The fish are anaesthetised in a solution of clove oil and water before being weighed, measured and having the adipose fin clipped. A spot of keyhole surgery is required to insert the pit tag into the abdomen just forward of the ventral fins.
Just want to make a wee incision, and you can kind of bend his stomach a bit. That's it. Very easy like that. So we just want to make a wee cut in there. Insert the tag into there.
PIT stands for Passive Integrated Responder, which is essentially a tiny glass capsule housing a copper wire coil with a coded number imprinted in it. The tags generate no power but create an electromagnetic field that is picked up by stationary aerials embedded in the river at intervals downstream. These solar-powered antennae track the movements of the tagged fish by recording their serial numbers.
And Rob's just
on this occasion, Lawson and his team are using large portable antennae to monitor how many tagged trout are still in the system. The program is designed to track juvenile brown trout as they migrate to the Motopico River system, and it is hoped the information gleaned from the operation will better help Lawson and his colleagues understand how trout move in relation to flow, temperature and size of habitat. It should also help to gauge the importance of the Rainy River to the Motueka fishery.
And staying on the theme of small fish, we go to our viewers' vid this week, which is all about tiddlers going back.
Here we are, Stevens Island, John with a nice little snapper. Okay, he's a little bit bigger than a little one. Just going to put him back in. Gone down.
Come on, baby, swim. Swim. Swim.
Keep going, keep going.
Come on, buddy, go.
He's going.
Send us your viewers' vids to PO Box 9001 Annesbrook, Nelson, or email us a YouTube link to crimpy@extra.co.nz.
Almost make you weep having to put a fish that big back, but coming up after the break, I met some rather interesting characters when I went whitebaiting on the coast recently. Stay tuned.